Amanda C. Watts here from 22 Agency, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about our minds and how we program our minds to actually be our worst enemy. Because how we describe ourselves is the most powerful force in the universe. And we have to really understand that the biggest thing that is holding us back from having success in our businesses is actually ourselves. And not only is it ourselves, it's the stories that we tell ourselves. And I was talking to my momentum group last night, the accountants last night, and one of them was actually talking a little bit about how he is nervous to sell his services, and he doesn't believe in himself a great deal. And I was sharing with him that I have been on that journey. And I thought that today what I would do, I would jump on and share the kind of things, the kind of stories that I was telling myself only back in 2014. So in 2014, I got myself a business coach. And I thought that my business coach was going to teach me how to grow my business. But you know what? He actually spent time working with me on me. And the first thing that he realized was that the thing that was holding me back was the stories I was telling myself. And I've actually gone into the notes that I made when I was working with him and picked out some of the stories. So one of the stories was, I am too old for success. So back in 2014, I thought that I was too old to have a successful business. At the time, I was a single mum. So another story was, I'm a single mum and people don't respect me. Another was, I will never be as successful as people in my industry. Then I was finding my life quite overwhelming. I was a single mum. And another story that I told myself was, work is stressful and all-consuming. I don't feel like that anymore, but 5 years ago, that was how I felt. It was stressful and all-consuming. This one is one that took a long time to get rid of, and it is, people judge me and I never fit in. And that is something that is a story that I told myself all the way from when I was at school. I had real friend issues when I was at school, and I dragged that story with me into adulthood. And it was something that was really holding me back with regards to forming partnerships with people and being able to grow my business and build relationships through partnerships. And then this one may come as a bit of a surprise. I am terrified of speaking and never know what to say. So 5 years ago, a story I was telling myself was, I am terrified of speaking and I never know what to say. All of these stories were holding me back, and you're going to have stories that are holding you back as well. And it's only when you realize that what you're telling yourself is probably a huge lie and can be reprogrammed that you can really change the direction of your business, the success you're having, and also the actions that you take on a daily basis. So when I reprogrammed my mind, the kind of things that I replaced my original stories with was, I'm only 44 and the world is my oyster. At the time it was, I'm not even 40 and the world is my oyster. And I've been changing that story every single year because I still having to program my mind to let myself know that I'm not too old for success. Another one was, I'm respected for my knowledge and my insights and I share with the world my information. Another one is, I'm highly paid and highly successful in my industry. Work is easy and I have an abundance of freedom. And when I started to program my mind that work is easy and I have an abundance of freedom, surprise, surprise, I started to get more freedom. It was really, really interesting journey. Then I said, other people like me and I have lots to offer. So this one is one that, again, I have to still reprogram into my mind. I have to program into my mind. So some of these I wholeheartedly believe, and some of these I am still working on. And when you have for 35 years believed that people don't warm to you and that you're not a people person, you have to really work hard to reprogram that. And then the other one is, speaking is serving and my knowledge rolls off my tongue and helps thousands of people every day. I didn't even realize, when I was going back to my notes and looking at what I reprogrammed myself with, I didn't even realize that's what I said for a while. But now I love speaking. Like, I didn't even realize, I'd forgotten I was terrified of it and that I found it difficult, and now I love speaking. And what I would say is when I worked on this and reprogrammed my mind, it wasn't the case of, oh, these are my old truths and these are my new truths and I have to say it once to reprogram myself. It was, I had to say it every morning, every evening. What I used to do is I'd put my hand on my heart and I would close my eyes and I would literally say, speaking is easy, it's fun, and I serve people. And I would do that every single morning, every single night, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I did it for years. Okay. And as I say, I still struggle with the ones with being able to fit in and form relationships easily. And a lot of my business is all about relationships. It was interesting when I looked at the journey that I've been on, is that one of my highest values is forming relationships with people. And I am sure that that comes from years and years and years ago of all of those years and that programming that relationships are really difficult to build. So that's something that I have made a concerted effort in making sure that that is the focus of everything I do through my business. And that's now weaved in. And when you look back at it and you're like, oh, wow, that's where that came from. So one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you is because you will have stories, and you'll have stories that are stopping you from having the success that you really, really want. And one thing that my coach, his name's Rob Scott, and when I've worked with him back in 2014, he did help me change my life. And he made me realize that my brain is a computer, and the way that we see the world is our lenses, and we can change our lenses just like we can in our glasses whenever we want to. And when we have our old truths and we create new truths and we put on new lenses, then the world can seem much brighter and a much, much better place to be in. So after my conversation with one of my clients yesterday, and after then going, you know what, I'm going to go and have a look and see the work I did around this with Rob, I thought that I would jump on a video today and share it with you and let you know that you can change the way you think about things. The way you've been programmed your entire life doesn't have to be the way you think if that's what you want to do. If you want to change the way you think, you can change your future at any point. You can reprogram your thoughts. You can change the way that you have had these negative thoughts your entire life. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes dedication, it takes discipline. But if you are wanting to do that, then this is the way to do it. Good luck with it. And if you've got any questions, let me know, and I'll catch up with you soon.